Hello there. There is an ongoing debate about Elon Musk versus the Trump base. Musk is a globalist, he just wants cheap workers from India, and he's going to essentially open up legal immigration instead of illegal immigration in order to get all of the cheap workers he wants, replace Americans, destroy your wages, your purchasing power, and so on. And this narrative has been circulating in social media and especially in the mainstream media. They've been having a lot of fun with it. And I'm not saying it is completely baseless, because in my opinion, Elon Musk is communicating very poorly on this. But I think there is some evidence that it might be way overblown and mostly miscommunication. So Elon Musk basically said he wants H1B visas to bring in the best people from all around the world. Basically, he said like the 0.5%, the best people, because innovation requires such capable people, and there are not enough on offer in the US. That's what he said essentially. Vivek Ramaswamy also joined in and basically said that it's because of the way that people are taught and the way that they're raised in the US, essentially to not strive to achieve to be the best, spend a lot of time on frivolous stuff and not enough studying. In my opinion, I don't agree with Vivek Ramaswamy. If you actually believe that the best of the best are the Asian parents who require their kids study for very long periods of time, most of their childhood essentially, then how come the US is doing so well and India, for example, is doing so poorly? The government there is still having campaigns to potty train the people. If you look at the amount of money a person makes on average in India, if you look at the quality of life, crime levels, sanitation, everything, yeah, you want to move from India to the US and not the other way around. So do I believe that it's just a superior Asian culture that allows Indians to, get in charge of all the companies? No, I don't. I think it's a result of diversity, DEI, hiring practices. In my opinion, Indians probably get considered as people of color there. That's why they are essentially dominating everything, despite the fact that in their own country they're not nearly as successful. On the other hand, I believe that the whole debate around immigration has been sort of obfuscated to an extent, where basically the MAGA base goes, we do not want to be replaced with people from countries that are less successful, where they will do our jobs for less, and we will be essentially pushed out or forced to receive wages that you literally can't live off, which is a perfectly normal and healthy thing to think. It's not anything crazy or out of the ordinary or far right or whatever. On the other hand, you have Elon Musk that goes, we should bring in the very few best of the best to the country and make use of their talents to advance our technology and our entrepreneurship in order for everyone to benefit, which again makes a lot of sense. And basically, they sort of it smudged both positions, where Elon Musk's position essentially has been transmogrified into, well, just open the H1B visa program to pretty much anyone that works for cheap, and we can replace all the American workers and we can make more money that way, haha, I don't care about you. On the other hand, the normal populist Americans point of view on the subject has been transmogrified from, well, we don't want to be replaced, to, well, we hate foreigners, so don't bring any. And this is essentially two deaf people just shouting at each other at this point. And some proof on the whole, I don't think Musk is a globalist who just wants to destroy your culture and replace you. For example, this is Musk saying true to a post by, I don't know who Kaizen D. Acedo, if I'm not butchering that name, is. But essentially that person is saying the irony of this multiculturalism / mass migration push in Europe is that it will actually produce less diversity, not more. England won't be English, Germany won't be German, Italy won't be Italian. Every country will just be an indistinguishable mix of different cultures. So Elon Musk agrees with that, and then he says countries just become inauthentic theme parks of what they used to be. So the idea that Elon Musk doesn't understand your desire to have your culture be maintained and the interests of your people be maintained, and he's just working to open your borders through legal means instead of illegal means, I don't think that is very true. He said specifically that he wants just the 0.5% best. Now, there have been also accusations against Trump that he flip-flopped on the subject because he used to be against it and now he's for it. So here are some posts from Trump from way before 2015. He said that he had a H1B reform plan that will transform the program so it delivers for the country, not lobbyists. And then in 2019, he said that H1B holders in the United States can rest assured that changes are soon coming which will bring both simplicity and certainty to your stay, including a potential path to citizenship. We want to encourage talented and highly skilled people to pursue career options in the US. He said that years ago, back when people claimed he was against H1B, and indeed he did have a reform on the subject which Joe Biden reversed. So Trump was always for allowing the best people from the H1B visa program stay in the country and have a path to citizenship. He always wanted the top percentile to be allowed to stay, and he was against using this, abusing essentially the H1B program to replace Americans for jobs that they are absolutely capable of doing just because people from poorer countries are willing to work for less. So I don't think Trump has flip-flopped on the issue. I don't think he changed his mind. I don't think that there's actually any major story here, despite the fact that this has been a storm on social media for a week or more now. Don Lemon had this amazing response where he basically mocked Trump supporters blindsided by Musk and Trump's support for H1B visas. This is the brilliant Don Lemon.
Some farmers say, without these workers, they have about 2 days that they can run their farms. And then after that, it's over. Oh my gosh, I love this. Now you're finding out, you dumb idiots. Now you're just figuring this out. You're so stupid and you deserve it. You deserve it because you're so dumb.
So you can see why Don Lemon is as popular as he is and basically flunked everything because he has zero class and he's an idiot. Essentially, he keeps cursing people for saying we don't want to be replaced, claiming that of course you should have realized that you are going to be replaced anyway. This from the person whose entire party is protecting the replacement of you and your family and friends by millions and millions and millions of unvetted immigrants coming in illegally. Yeah, of course you should have voted for Democrats, of course. And it's the same from MSNBC, where I believe I've shown this like a week ago, basically saying they're coming for you, they're saying you're all white and lazy. Here it is.
America is a land of the free, home of the brave, all that good stuff that Elon Musk was tweeting about. However, please don't come for Americans. And I would like, let's be very clear, I would like white Americans to stand up. This is your calling card, honey. Where's your banner? Because they coming for you. They said y'all white and lazy. That's crazy.
Well,
that's crazy.
What I
and
find
if I said it, y'all would be coming for me.
Well,
I would never say that.
So they are very, very happy with this. They basically are trying to exploit this break in the MAGA movement. And I want to point out just how different Elon Musk is from these idiots. Elon Musk is right now, both in Germany and in Britain, heavily pushing for accountability for left-wing idiots who have been destroying these countries. For example, talking about Jimmy Savile, longtime BBC employee, claiming that he forced over 400 children while being paid millions by the BBC. And he's essentially bringing all sorts of, for example, clips like this.
Now we've even got, what's his name? Keir Starmer, sir. That bastard excused Jimmy Savile. He's the one who signed off and said there wasn't enough evidence. That bastard is going to be the prime minister. So a guy who literally, who signed off and said not enough evidence of the man what we now know, Sir Jimmy Savile, who raped 500 while being greeted by the Queen and, BBC covering.
And so on. He's been very supportive of Tommy Robinson. He's been very critical of Keir Starmer and on immigration too. And the same in Germany. He is pushing for populist opinions, populist movements across the globe and against tyrants trying to destroy freedom of speech and usher in mass migration, destroy your culture, replace your people on the entire global scale. So Elon Musk bad has been a narrative pushed heavily on social media and mainstream media for a while now. I don't see the proof of it so far. Perhaps I will be wrong. Perhaps once Trump comes into office, he will expand H1B visas to allow tons and tons and tons of legal workers to replace you. Maybe. If so, I will of course denounce it. I will denounce anyone who does so. I am very much for the working indigenous people and against the idea of mass migration. But so far, Trump isn't even in office. There are no policy proposals to that effect. And Musk just saying, I want the top 0.5% workers has been, and then being attacked over it, and then saying, well, you're crazy for attacking me over it. Yeah, that's not something that needs to be criticized. What should probably be criticized is his response to the negativity on Twitter, basically changing the algorithm and saying that he wants to push all of that negativity out of Twitter. I'm not sure how much this is going to change long term, but the idea that every time you get into a tiff with Elon Musk on Twitter, that's going to essentially change the algorithm and bring in more restrictions, that's very disheartening. I definitely am opposed to this idea. That's one place where I can see criticism being valid. I hope that he does not choose to, how to put it, try and destroy the opposition just because he has the power. He does have the power. I wish he didn't. I wish we had the same system that Trump advocated for and promised that he would usher in once president, where basically there's been a reform of a Section 230 that gives exemption from liability for social media if they choose to editorialize. So essentially, for those who don't know, there are current rules that say that everyone is liable for speech that they publish apart from social media, who are protected because they are a marketplace of ideas. They're not publishers. They're not the one saying the thing. They're just providing a neutral ground for other people to speak. So that's why they are protected from being sued over what is said in their platform. And Trump essentially is saying you are abusing that privilege granted to you, that exemption granted to you, by deciding who is and isn't allowed to speak and what is and is not allowed to be said on your neutral ground. It's not really. It's basically your publication. You are pruning the opinions and the people allowed to speak there. So you're editorializing, you are exercising your First Amendment right, you are not actually a neutral ground for others to do so themselves. Therefore, we should change it and hold people accountable for that. If such a course of action were taken, if Trump actually makes that kind of reform, then I don't think Trump would be able to keep doing what he's doing right now, which is essentially say, I don't like being trashed on my own social media, so all of you get out. I'm not sure if Trump will actually try. I'm not sure if he will actually succeed in this reform of Section 230. Trump will probably face opposition from Musk over it now, because Musk seems to be very emotional about the subject of opposition on X, formerly Twitter, which is sad in my opinion. I very much want to like Elon Musk, and I think he is on our side on most things. He's definitely better than, I'd say, 95% at least of the right-wing political establishment, let's say, that we have. Much better than Nigel Farage, which he's also criticizing that man for essentially being very weak on the whole immigration and crime by immigrants issue in Britain. And very supportive, like I said, of Tommy Robinson, which I wholeheartedly agree with. All in all, yeah, the idea that Twitter is the best we got is correct, but that does not mean that we should excuse when unwelcome and, in my opinion, wrong measures are taken in the heat of the moment. We'll have to wait and see how this entire thing develops. I'm not one for needless paranoia. And I think that we have a very, how to put it, on edge public that has been betrayed so many times. We have had politicians portrayed as centrist or even right wing. Anybody remember Boris Johnson claiming that he will deliver on Brexit? He's going to stop mass migration. He's going to govern for the benefit of British people. And then he did the complete opposite. And so he's not even the only one. Even Macron in France, I believe, ran as first as a centrist. We have had so many of these Trojan horses at this point and we have had so many promises betrayed that we are very much on a hair trigger, on edge, just looking for any sign of betrayal from those that we have supported into positions of power and authority. And the left is now trying to abuse our readiness, our being on guard, to try and destroy the coalition that we've built because it's too strong for them to fight directly. And I'm not saying that we must cling to this coalition by any means necessary, no matter the sacrificing. That's not at all what I'm saying. I am saying that we, in this juncture, may well be have been influenced and manipulated by these bad actors to make a mountain out of a molehill. It may well be that we do not have too much to worry about, at least not yet, in terms of abuse of H1B, because Elon Musk keeps saying he only wants the top 0.5%. He keeps saying that he supports the indigenous people maintaining a majority and a hegemony of the culture in countries. He's just against the idea of completely closing off all immigration. He thinks that some small amount of skilled migrants are beneficial, and he identifies with these migrants, saying that he himself is one such migrant. And I think that much is fair enough. If you, this is the kind of migrant I'd want in my country, someone who's a contributor and loves the country, loves the people, and wants to support us. If you are here to promote yourself at our expense, take advantage of us to essentially pay off your bills or advance your group in my country, want to essentially create some sort of colony or advance a party based on your identity as a foreigner, then you are not welcome in my country, at least according to me personally. I think most people would agree with me. That's not the kind of migrant I'd want, and that's not the kind of migrant I would be if I ever, for any reason, decided to move someplace else. The moral kind of migration, in my view, is one that benefits both sides, where you pledge allegiance to wherever you move, to the people there specifically, and you support them, and you contribute. And on the other hand, you gain opportunities by going there, or perhaps you like the culture there and you want to be a part of it. That's the kind of migration that is beneficial to both sides. It's mutually agreed upon and not illegal. And this is the kind of migration I would be happy to see, so long as it is not exaggerated, obviously, because there needs to be maintained a certain homogeneity, not 100%, but some homogeneity of the country. In my opinion, it's very important. Basically, I believe the UN Charter says something about the right to self-determination of peoples, and I support that basic right. Basically, I am very happy for other peoples like the English in England, the Germans in Germany, and, Jews in Israel, and so on. I think it would be hypocritical to believe anything else, so long as you want your country to be able to maintain a majority of your people. Especially, I hate people who go, no, it's terrible if you try, for example, I remember Barack Obama did it. Terrible if you try to destroy the homogeneity of black neighborhoods. They must be maintained on their purity so that they have some sort of this ethnic consciousness. On the other hand, it's terrible to allow a white neighborhood to remain predominantly white. It must be diversified. We have to break up their racial consciousness. This kind of double standard is hypocritical and outright evil. And again, according to what I see Elon Musk is saying, tweeting, and so on, that's not his position. We are being led to believe that it is because, like I said, there are bad actors trying to break us. Don't let them maintain your vigilance for when there is truly a need to do so. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.